Hello, here I'm showing how, this is my inbox. For starts, I'm showing how, can you read this there? Where my pen's pointing to? That is a major music site that I have a profile on. And it's also where I met the Patsy musician from there who contacted me, and he's the person that put the subliminals on the backings of the tracks, which is brainwashing. I've got audio about that. Can you see there? There, you can read that now. Yeah, so you see it there, yeah? That's the name of the music site. This is my inbox, yeah? There's an email, and these emails give you recommendations. And in the footage is there we have it, is there we have I think it's 3 or 9 new musicians near, and it says where I live. And this is the actual harassment. These are the musicians that are recommended. And there's a band called, they have my name, my handle, and they have 9, or I think it's 3 actually, 3 new recommendations for you. So we have a band here called Tony's. Can you see that there? Yeah, Tony's, yeah. And then there's another band called Gary 714, and they have another band there called, what's another band there called, can you read it just about? New Cars. So what we have here is we have Tony's, a band called Tony's, a band called Gary 714, and a band called New Cars. So when you read that, you have hello, my handle name, yeah. We have 3 bands recommended for you. Tony's, 3 bands recommended for you. Tony's, Gary's, New Cars. Tony's, Gary's, New Cars. Well, very strange that I have a friend called Tony, and I haven't seen him for a while. And then I go to visit him, and I find out he's got a new car. I have a friend called Gary. Gary lost his car. Then he got it back. But what he did when he got it back, he got a new one. I was talking to Gary at his front gate, and he told me that it was his new car. So these people are letting me know that my friend Tony, my friend Gary have got new cars. And funny enough, my friend Tony and my friend Gary got their new cars in the space of about 2 weeks. And this email was sent very shortly. I'd say 2 days after I had the conversation with Gary about him getting his new car. And then I went and visited my friend Tony and found out that he got a new car 2 weeks ago. So the band isn't called Tony. The band is called, because it has to read right, you see. It's called Tony's and Gary and New Cars. New Cars. This website has also been used to target me in another sick way. I'll explain in a moment. Here's another one of the recommendations for bands. And they've got new bands. And one of the new bands is called Derek. Derek 346, whatever. Whether these are real people and they've been chosen just because obviously I've got friends called this. But funny enough, I received this recommendation the day after, I think it was 2 days after, I'd had a lengthy conversation with another friend about Derek, which is a mutual friend, because I haven't seen him for a while and I wondered what was going on. So they sent me this. So I've got a recommendation about Gary and Tony's new cars. There's a band called Gary, a band called Tony's, a band called Gary, and a band called New Cars. And I've got friends of those names, and they just happen to have new cars within a 3-week period. And I've received recommendations. And I just happened to be having a lengthy discussion about a mutual friend called Derek, and I received a recommendation for a band called Derek. So I go into it, and there's more recommendations, and this gets even more sick. You can see at the top there, yeah, and these are recommendations. You can see the beginning of the recommendation there, where it says Tony's. You see it there, and it's going to go into Gary's. But there's also this recommendation, this band, and what are this band called? 6 in the back. and the location is Halifax, which is not far from where the Patsy musician alleged that he came from. So it's doing metal and alternative rock, which is what I do. And it's a recommendation called Six in the Back. Well, if you listen to my other audio, which is one of my testimonies, what actually happened is I was threatened with, I was abducted, and 5 days after my abduction, 2 cars pulled up on the motorway, and an Asian man in a dirty coloured red car, like a dusty red, metallic red car, he actually shouted to me, and I've actually documented this. Last year this was last year, 5 days after I got abducted, which my abduction was reported to the police. And 5 days after this, how did this stranger know? He shouted to me that there were 6 guys in the back. Yeah? And there was another car behind him that had stopped as well. And he said, 6 guys. That was it. There's 6 guys in the car, he said, not in the back. This is called 6 in the back, yeah? 6 guys in the car, and that my pussy was going to get murdered. And he also threatened me with gang rape. And he threatened me, and he told me, he said, why don't you go to the police? And then he drove off. He said, next time you go for a drink, your pussy's going to get murdered. There's 6 guys in the car. I can't remember now offhand whether it was 6 guys in the car or 6 guys in the back. But that's what he said. And that is what I put on my testimony. And now I get a recommendation by a major music band. It's been a major music website. It's being used to harass me with memes. So 6 in the back. Yeah, there's 6 guys in the back. Next time you go for a drink. We've got to remember, 5 days prior to this, I was still in shock because I'd been abducted. And I've actually spoke about that in my other audios last year. I've actually said what the guy said when he threatened me with gang rape of 6 guys in the back or in the car. I can't remember. 6 guys wouldn't fit in a car. There was 2 cars, but he definitely said that. And I actually said that last year. And now they're recommending a band for me that is called that. And they're also recommending a band called Derek, who I had a lengthy conversation about recently. And also my friends that have got new cars, of course. Got another recommendation there for a band called Singer, but that could be nothing. I'd also like to point out that the address bar for this website has got root out on it. What does that mean, root out? Does it mean that I won't get any replies unless they've been filtered by these people? There you go, there's the top of the thing to show that the email is from them. There you go. Here's the address line of my Bandmix page. Can you see that? Does it say? Weed out. So there you go. So what have I done to deserve this? Have I upset somebody at the site? No. I haven't upset anybody. I met the musician through this site who provided me with the tracks with the subliminals on, which is brainwashing. And all my problems started to escalate from that point on. It's interesting to know, to just remind listeners that the subliminals also included the words and phrases of which the gang stalkers used to shout at me. So there's a way to embed them in my subconscious. So not only was I being harassed, I am also, this website, this music website is also being used to harass and torment me. When I've just got a page here with just some of my work on. So all this is part of just being a targeted individual. Every area of your life is sabotaged and destroyed. So when you try to do something, anything, it is disturbed and interfered with. I don't know if the website are behind this, or if somebody's hacking into it, or the intelligence agencies are hacking into it and creating these profiles with the memes. I don't know who's behind it. I just know that it's being used as a way to harass and torment, and also to let me know that I'm under surveillance. How do they know Tony and Gary have got new cars, both of them within a space of 3 weeks? How do they know I've had a lengthy conversation with a completely different person about a friend, someone I know, called Derek? How do they know this? Another interesting thing that happened with this 6 in the back as well, that was something that I've mentioned to a couple of people. It's also something I've mentioned on here in one of my statements, but I use a pseudonym online. I use a pseudonym. So unless somebody is spying on me, how do they know it's me? How can they link what I said with my Bandmix account, which recommendations are sent to my email, my inbox? Also, I'd like to say that another thing about the surveillance is because when I put something on here about manipulated dreams, and I actually received 2 days later a recommendation for a band called The Apparition. And I put something in about psychiatry and stuff, and then I have a recommendation along with that called The Shrinks. So I had 2 bands, The Apparition, The Shrinks. And as you know about the stuff that they used to harass me with V2K, a recommendation for a band called Acoustic Kitty. Now these may all be bands. The names may have been chosen by the people that are harassing me to just harass me, or they may be just memes that have just been set up in order to do the harassment directly. They may not even exist. Somebody may have even hacked into the server and hacked into the server between the actual site that sends me the recommendations, or it may all be as it's meant to appear, but I doubt it's as it's meant to appear. Something will have been done. Okay, so I'd just like to show you that undeniable, irrefutable evidence about being harassed by memes, and also how by doing this they're trying to sabotage things in my life. Okay, thank you. God bless.